can't really say that. Oh, we're live. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're live.
I forgot the intro.
Who
Go.
cares about the intro? I don't need 30 seconds to get pissed off today, Ren. Welcome to the Pewtercast.
It's a full
The
minute.
live Sunday. Yes, it's a full minute. The live Sunday post game here. Bucs post game on the Pewtercast, presented by BetUS.com, your number one spot for all things about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the news, the analysis, the takes, especially hot ones today. That's Ren Dax. I'm Steve Carney, and the Buccaneers absolutely should be embarrassed by today.
Yeah, they played well in spurts. I mean, it's very disappointing that, they had a bye week to go up against the Washington football team. And I thought
2 weeks to get ready for this, and you come out and you look like that in the first half offensively, because offensively was off. The offense was awful in the first half.
It was. They showed a graphic. I know you had turned it off, but they showed a graphic of Tom Brady's first half and second half, and his QBR was like 30 in the first and then 117 in the second.
I think I saw he had 79 yards and 2 picks in the first half.
And 11 of 20. So he was barely 50%. So, it's what I talked about during the week. I mean, Brady needs to come out if he comes out with a slow start, and then I didn't expect the picks. And look, I know I harp on this a lot, but kick the fucking football. Washington could not move the football. They only moved the football twice all game. The last drive, which was, Jesus. I mean, what are you going to see? What are you going to say? Crappy defense. You needed the ball there to stop them, and you let the Washington football team hold the ball for 11 minutes, 12 minutes, and 19 plays.
Yeah, 19 plays, almost 11 minutes of game clock time.
Yeah,
and it ends in a touchdown.
Yeah, it can't get any worse than that. But in the first half, they couldn't really move the ball. They were getting a first down or two, but they were already at midfield when they got the ball. Why? Because you accepted the fucking coin. You won the coin toss, you accept the ball. Kick the ball to Washington, make them go 80 yards, which they couldn't do in the beginning. They punt to you, and you have the ball at midfield. And Washington's game plan was pretty good. I can't really tell you what they were doing, but, they just, Fournette, it was we're just going to throw it to Leonard Fournette and try to, chunk it down the field. Basically what Washington did at the end of the game. And a lot of times during the field, Heineke was on, man. He didn't miss. He took what he was giving him. They were kind of, keeping in front of the sticks. And then, of course, early, first play of the game, O.J. Howard, false starts. Comes out of the gate, goes 3 and out.
2 weeks and you false start on the first play.
It was just, and then, of course, the defense and their goddamn offsides. When is this ever going to stop? You didn't need. The offensive line was banged up as it was, and they ended up losing their best offensive lineman during the game.
Sure.
And you're jumping off sides, come, it's 3rd and 8, man. It was a lot of those things. So, I'm curious to hear what sort of Brady and BA, says about what Washington was doing against them, because they were basically just. I don't understand why they didn't look at Mike Evans more. It doesn't really matter if you double him or not. He had 3 targets.
2 of them were in the first half. One of them was Brady's second interception.
Right.
And then he had the catch at the end of the first half.
Right before,
that he got face masked on, that allowed the half to continue, and they were able to get a field goal out of it, and on an untimed down.
Yeah,
and then
so a really stupid play, by the Washington, or the first half would have been worse. We would have been down 16-3, as we should have been. So, I mean, people are coming at me in chat, and rightfully so. I was like, hey, we lost to the Saints, it seems like 6 months ago. But I was like, hey, football's fun again, because we were beating up on all the teams we were supposed to. And then it's hey, the division's tight, and now there'll be stuff to talk about, and we can nitpick. And then we come out and lay this egg, and it's ooh, what do you think now? It's I'm I get it. I deserve that. You're right. Take a shot. I think that this team thinks they're better than they are. That's what I think. I don't That's what I think. I think they can turn it on anytime they want to, and they came out flat offensively. Had some bag breaks. The Darden interception was rare. He almost had another super freaky one off of
Godwin's foot.
Godwin's foot. And then, with Brady, he does that a lot. Instead of like taking sacks or pressure, he'll throw a ball, hoping, that the guy comes open. Like I remember week 1 against Dallas, he did it to Gronk when Micah Parsons was guarding Gronk down the middle of the field. And like Brady, from where Brady was, like he couldn't even see Gronk. It was like Brady's eyesight he had to look through Parsons to see Gronk. And he threw it like just past Parsons' ear hole because he had his back to him. And, Gronk sort of broke, not really broke free, but half his body came free where he could actually turn and see the ball. And as soon as he did that, the ball was right on top of him. And that's what he tried to do with Evans coming across the field. But Evans wasn't looking. You know why? Because he wasn't open. And I'm not blaming Brady, and probably the blame there goes really on Evans than anybody else. But then it just happens to be a safety just standing there. It's not like he broke on the ball. He's just standing there, and basically you threw it right to him. You took a big chance on your half the field, already down. Because the offense has stalled, so he felt like he needed to take this chance to get the offense jumped, and it turned into a pick. And then, but again, like the game, I swear to God, the game was lost because the way the offense came out in 3 and out. The game was lost when he accepted and took the ball again. And then Washington had the ball. They didn't really do much when they got the ball in the second half, or right away. I mean, the kickoff, I should say. And then I thought the offensive play calling was pretty drab. There was that one where we got the touchdown, the 2 bubble screens to Godwin, that real nice play where Brait, hit the defensive line, then released. And it was really cool because then they had O.J. Howard backing him up. So when he released the defensive lineman, O.J. picked him up. And Brait, scored it out in the end zone. We saw that on, I think, the Dallas game, too, when Gronk did it. It's like, well, how do you stop that? So they did it again with Brait, touchdown. That was like the only creative drive. Everything else, I swear to God, it was like we're just going to throw it to Leonard Fournette. So
it was check down city. And I was like,
yeah.
It's like, all right, I know you want to get Leonard Fournette involved in the offense, but come on. The fact that they only targeted Mike Evans 3 times blows my mind, especially seeing as Godwin didn't practice until Friday. Was like, I come on. I mean, I know that Evans is going to have the number 1 defensive back on him, but it's not like, this isn't Darrelle Revis on Mike Evans.
Their secondary's terrible. Their secondary's terrible. Yeah. So, and Heineke, he did what he did against us last time. It was just, he never threw the ball deep.
No.
He made a couple of plays with his legs, but
he made a couple of plays with his legs. His receivers, whether it was Gibson or McLaren, especially in that final drive, they got pressure on Heineke, but Heineke all of a sudden he's throwing, and all of a sudden there's Antonio Gibson for 6 yards as opposed to a 6-yard sack. They get a 6-yard gain.
Oh yeah, Devin White had him dead to rights, and he throws like the underarm thing.
McLaren to make it 1st and goal. Yeah. There's McLaren, and he gets killed by Jordan. By the way, Jordan Whitehead
fantastic game.
Had a couple of very good plays.
Fantastic game.
There are a couple of times where it's like, I wish you would wrap guys as opposed to just try and blast them with his shoulder pad. Now, granted, he did get the flag picked up because he does lead with his shoulder and not with his helmet, which is what you want to see. But I would love to see him a couple of times. You wrap guys, and all of a sudden you're able to get them down. He just tries to blast them with his shoulder pads and just have them fall down.
Sure. Still a great game. He gets 2 game balls. Fournette gets a game ball. Marpet had a rough game, and we knew that coming in. That was like the big matchup. Jonathan Allen's having a great year. And the one that there was a play where they pressured Brady, and you just see Jonathan Allen come on the screen, and like you never saw Marpet at all. Yeah. He got a holding penalty, which was a bunch of crap. I mean, he double teamed Donovan Smith's guy, then came off him, and somebody was blitzing and blew Alley up, and he was like falling backwards. But when he grabbed it, he went up to put his hands to grab the guy, then got blown up. So when he's falling backwards, he still had the guy's jersey, and they both go down and they call it for holding. But before they even hit the ground, the ball was already out. Like if he wasn't holding him or not, like the guy wasn't getting to Brady. It was just like I don't know. So I mean, yes, it was holding.
And
It's kind of a crappy
they ended
call.
up converting. They ended up extending the drive anyway.
Right? Yeah, they converted that one. Yeah,
They
which I thought was a
converted
little bit of a gift. I don't think Bernard made it, to be honest, but I'll take
Yeah,
it.
it was. Yeah, you. That's when you go. All right, I'll go with that.
Well, when did that start? Like last year when they don't measure anymore and they just give like they'll spot the ball an extra foot forward to make it like an even number instead of like instead of like 8.5 to go. No, it's 8. You know, it's just they just do it all the time now. Yeah, like they never bring the chains out anymore. I mean, you know, obviously it's a conscious decision, but I kind of like it, except when it works against stuff, of course. But we got people piling up in the chat.
All right, well then,
Sure, bring him in.
Yes, let's bring him in. First up,
starting with Nofu. Haven't seen him for a few weeks, but he's here. Yes, remember, this is the guy that pimps his dog. I'm just kidding. He's got some dog pictures of or something in Mike Evans jerseys or something. I'm not really sure.
No, I don't have a dog. It's on Mike Evans jersey.
Is it a cat? What is it? Am I mixing up with somebody else?
I have a dog, but I don't have an animal jersey.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right.
No, I just have sports shirts from like the 70s of the Bucs teams.
Okay. How are you feeling?
Are you as embarrassed about this as I am?
I've been a Bucs fan since 2007 when I could actually consciously watch the game.
Right.
So I know this place. It's home. Like losing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's frustrating. I mean, again, I don't like to blame the refs because I don't think the refs there really was much craziness in this game. There were some bad calls. I think the worst call wasn't even the holding. I think it was the uncatchable defensive pass interference. And then immediately after that, the guy is literally stopped for like 3 seconds, and then they let the play continue. And I argued with my friend. He's like, well, his feet are still moving. I'm like, that's not the point. They stopped the pile to stop injuries.
Yeah, forward progress.
See the camera angle from the end zone, there's a Washington football team member laying on the ground for 3 seconds, and everyone's stamping on him. I'm like, that's why they stopped the play.
Right.
But they let it go in for a touchdown. But, yeah, undisciplined, right? I mean, these offsides are still continuing. First play of the game, O.J. Howard. That's why he doesn't play. Like, false start. It seems like every time it's false start. The game plan for the offense. Now, there's a devil's advocate to the offensive game plan. Yes, it's like you open up a menu and it's like, would you like a Chris Godwin wide receiver screen, or would you like a Fournette run up the middle? Like, it's pretty much what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was Godwin or Fournette, and it was like 80% Fournette, 20% Godwin. Right. You know, they threw a little bit to Johnson early, and then he disappeared. You know,
but luckily our offensive line is not injured. But when we think about it, everybody else is the players that matter to make sure our team can score. Our normal setup is Evans, AB, Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller for the deep threat, AB, Gronkowski. They all open up the offense.
Yeah.
We're playing with 1.5 of them because Godwin is playing with this foot injury that he's using the sting in his shoe that he's never used before, right? So Leonard Fournette's there. Rojo, where was Rojo? Did Rojo even have one play?
I didn't see him at all.
I think I saw him once.
What was he doing? Getting some water?
Yeah.
Right. Rojo can have that breakout speed at the end of the game when everyone's tired. So the game plan is extremely hampered because we've lost 4.5 of our 5 offensive stars to be able to catch the ball from Brady. But
the one that isn't hurt, they didn't use today.
Yeah.
Like
Evans,
like I'm about to get a milk carton. Have you seen Mike Evans?
I feel like Evans plays to the flag. Like if he has any resistance, like he can't make separation, he'd rather give up and get like tumbled and try to get the flag than try. Because while I do believe that Brady throw was overthrown, Evans was looking at the ball the whole time and just did it, and then he looked for the flag. And it was like, dude, there's not going to be a flag on that.
That's not. I didn't think Mike was looking at the ball at all. But I mean, I'm not going to argue back and forth with you. I'm just repeating what I thought I saw.
Bang bang, right? But I mean, it's the offense, the defense. I actually am not mad at. I mean, yes, they gave up that 11-minute long drive, but what was Washington's time of possession before that?
Yeah,
The
it was
defense
huge.
got put into the worst positions in the first
Yeah.
half
Yep.
and kept them to 13 points.
Yeah.
So, and then the offense can't get anything going. That defense is gas. That's what we always said about our defense when Winston was our quarterback. He always put him in bad positions. How are you supposed to be a good defense if you're always on the field? Well, right now they're always on the field,
Yeah.
and they're doing the best they can.
Yeah, it was it. You know, like I said, there was only 2 drives that really Washington put together. You know, it started off because BA took the ball. We went 3 and out. We punt the ball. They're at midfield. You know, they get 2 first downs, kick a field goal. I mean, and then the rest of the first half, I know they scored a touch, but it was they. It felt like it felt like they started all their drives at the 50-yard line in the first half. And that all started because BA wants the frickin' ball. And it's like, it's not working. And again, I know I say it a bunch, and I get it, but it's the only way you steal a frickin' possession. Like, it's the only way you steal a possession. It's the only way you can.
I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, strategically, in a statistic standpoint, if each team scores 7 points equally in each half, then you have the better chance of winning if you get the ball in the second half, because now you have the lead all the time and never lose it. So you can control the game in the second half, which is when it matters. So like I'm 100% with you. There's no argument with me. When I see them receiving the ball, they're like, Tampa Bay won the coin toss and elects to receive. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, even college teams know not to do that.
Yeah, like, Pee Wee teams. Everyone does it. Everyone does it except for BA. Everybody. Absolutely everybody.
But 2 things that I still am scratching my head off is, one, why is Vita Vea getting back in coverage? I just loved watching this. He's literally standing there like that. Like, he's standing there like this the whole time. Like, you know what I'm talking about? He's just standing there like this. I'm like, dude, the guy's way over there. Like, you're not helping Vita. And 2, maybe it's because all players are injured, but I think the pass to Evans was like the only pass over 20 yards attempted.
It was.
Like, what happened to no risk it, no biscuit, man? Like, what are we doing?
That might be the biggest question. That might be the right question to ask. And I hope that somebody has the testicular fortitude to ask that of BA. Hey, BA, you always talk about no risk it, no biscuit. Where was the no risk it today?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Darden had butterfingers today, and but he's fast. He can be a Walmart version of Scotty Miller today. Let him go deep. I mean, the dude can catch a high up ball. He's a kick returner. Why aren't we throwing it deep to him? Why aren't we setting these up? So I have a lot of questions. I'm going to right now chalk it up to literally half of our offensive starting, which is all of our stars, other than Brady, but stars, is literally not working. And Evans you can count out because he's the only one. They're going to cover him. And then the defense, our best 2 corners are out, right? But the defense I'm not too worried about after this game. But I'm going to chalk it up to that. But there are a lot of questions. And it's starting to make me feel like the reason why we won a Super Bowl wasn't because of you can obviously say, yes, this is true. Isn't because of our mastermind coaches. It's because we had players that could just literally levitate the game. Like we just became Alabama. Like, that was it. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. So that's all I got, y'all. I'm not too angry. I mean, the Saints lost. The Falcons lost. So we're still number 1 in the division.
Panthers are going to lose.
Oh, yeah.
So glad Cam's back in the division.
I'm not even worried about the number 1 seed anymore. I'm more worried
By the way, Cam Newton with a 1-yard touchdown run has given the Panthers a 7-0 lead over the Cardinals, just in case.
So what, they move into 3rd place?
yeah, right.
It is what it is. So, I mean, I'm not too worried. I believe we're going to win the division. I believe we're going to make the playoffs. But right now, if we're seeing the same stuff, Ren, because you were getting blown up in chat, I was the first one to grab you.
Oh, thanks.
No, you're good. I wasn't trying to be too mean about it, but
I don't care.
Because we were missing the same players last time we played. So I'm saying I think it's because of how many injuries. We have 7 out of 22. It's over 33% of our players missing. So almost 33%. So if we're seeing the same stuff on offense, when we at least get 2 more guys back, or even just AB or Gronk, forget Scotty Miller. We get AB or Gronk back, and we're seeing the same stuff. We have a serious problem.
Yeah, and so that's kind of like the caveat, right? I said a couple of weeks ago, before the Saints loss was like, yeah, like, survive in advance. Like right now, just survive in advance. But what's different about this game is, well, first off, we shot ourselves in the foot the whole entire first half. And second off is we're good enough to not have to play a survive in advance game against this team, you know? And you came out and you stunk up the place early and you put the defense in bad situations and it went out to a lead and the offensive game plan wasn't working and you changed it for one drive, the second time you got the ball in the second half, and you boom, boom, boom down the field, and then came back and you started throwing it to Leonard Fournette again. And it's just like...
I mean, where's Psycho Tom?
Okay. Like, where was the middle of the field? Like, they didn't attack the middle of the field. Like, they did it a couple of times. One, the pass to Godwin to bring up 3rd and short after the alley Marpet hold, and then the break pass.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, the middle, like, we talked to a guy who works for the team. Their linebackers aren't any good. They can't cover. He told us that. And they never attacked it. Like, if you want to dump the ball for Fournette, make the linebacker cover him and dump him the ball. Like, after the 4th or 5th time out on the edge, Washington had it figured out. If you noticed, every time Fournette got the ball in the 4th quarter, there was 3 guys there. It wasn't like, he's one-on-one, has to make the corner miss, and maybe he can get a big game. No. There was a defensive end out there waiting for him on the last time we had the ball. It's like all right.
With all this offensive ineptitude, one of the things you're supposed to get with the Brady package is Psycho Tom when you're losing like this. Right. And I made the joke to my friend, I'm like, he's not even Psycho Tom anymore. He's just disappointed dad. He just sits over and just... I'm disappointed. Yeah. Like, he doesn't... I want to see him losing his shit on these guys. Like, that's what I want to see because that's what the level... All these documentaries you do and all this talk you do about how you demand a perfection and the next ring is your own. It's like, dude, you just lost the Washington football team who has the worst pass defense in the league and they're 2-6.
And they can't score in the red zone. And they couldn't convert on 3rd down. Or they went for like 11 for 9. Like,
yeah, their biggest lead they've ever had all season, and the first time in 4 years they scored on their first 4 drives.
Yeah.
Where's Psycho Tom?
They've also were the team that gave it the most points on the first drive, and we went 3 and out. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like I get the that we're beat up, right? But they suck. Like we just lost to the Jets. We just lost to the Lions. Yeah. Like that. So this is who we just lost to. They're not any good.
There's a lot of people you can put blame on for different things, but overall, who holds the biggest blame for this loss?
Oh, God! I'm gonna have to put it on Byron.
Yeah, this is a Byron loss
for
the first half. I would say. The offense gets an F for the first half. The defense gets an F for the second half. But yeah, when you fall behind 16-3, when you're looking to go into the locker room at halftime and you're down 13 points to the Washington farce of a team, that's a coaching thing. You had 2 weeks to prepare these guys for this.
But how many times did we hear last season about how this was how the team was all season? They went into the bye week, and then Byron Leftwich and Tom Brady were like, okay, we're going to rip this stuff out. We're going to put this in. We're going to make it our playbook. We're not going to do everything Byron Leftwich, and that's when our offense started to click. Why are we going back to Byron Leftwich 24/7? Where's the dudes running across to check if we're in man and zone? Where?
I don't know.
What happened?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's like, what happened?
I don't know. It was a bad offensive game plan. I mean, I get it. That was
whatever Byron wants. He's like, all right, man, screw it.
No, because that's a Tom Brady game right there. Like the check down to the back, like that's a Tom Brady game. That I think. And here's the thing that we don't know. We're not going to know. Byron might have been calling plays down the field. Byron might have been calling plays across the middle. But Tom would read the defense, and the safest play to get to the next play would be to dump it to Fournette. And so that's what he did. So that's a possibility. I mean, he doesn't call the play, okay, everyone run deep, I'm throwing it to Fournette. That's not the play. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'm going to look at Mike Evans, and then I'm going to look at Godwin, and then if they're not there, I'm throwing it to Fournette. But the result was just throw it to Fournette, throw it to Fournette, throw it to Fournette. And I can't believe that a team that is that crappy on the back end of the defense and was getting no pressure most of the game. Like there was a handful of less than 5 where Tom had to dump it. Unfortunately, 2 came on third down. But so
It was only the
he had the time. Like there's not this miraculous scheme they came up with. It was a shitty game plan. The way they decided to attack the defense wasn't working. They changed it one time, marched it right down the field, and then they never got the ball back. Basically, it was and then that was it. It was like locker room
This
time.
is more of a joke, but I just hope Byron or Tom Brady just didn't see how teams are destroying us with the screen and said, maybe we should try that. Maybe that'll work for us. No, man, that's not how that works. We just don't have corners right now. So.
Yeah, so.
Alrighty, guys. Well, next week, try again. Hopefully SMB and Brown come back. That's all. And Gronk. So.
Yeah. And again, if, like you said, when you tried to leave the first time, we'll see how this goes. When we get our guys back, it's a different team and it's going to be a different story. And if we see these things, sort of poke their ugly head up, sort of continually week after week after week, then you're right, we have a very serious problem. Right now, it's just wait and see. It's just a shitty loss because it's a shitty team and it was a shitty game plan, and basically you fucked yourself. Like you should have had no problem winning that game at all.
Yeah, at least it's not as bad as Bills versus Jaguars.
There we go. Sure. I mean, I'm not a Bills fan, or you?
Or how about the fact that Pittsburgh is 2 minutes away from tying the Lions?
All right, go.
Hopefully they keep their kneecaps. So.
Oh yeah, right. Well,
all right, gentlemen, y'all have a great day.
All right,
no food. Good to see you, man.
Bye.
All right.
Next.
As soon as Corey gets situated, I had a nice view of his ceiling fan while Nofu was talking, and I was gonna have to announce that as soon as Corey gets back, we'll bring him on in. But he was there because as soon as Nofu said bye, he tilted the camera down. So here we go, Corey. Coming back from basketball or on his way to band camp or the gym or going to go have sexy time with his wife. We'll see what Corey's up to. What's he got to say? But he's always got good stuff to say. Let's hear what Corey saw. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? So a couple things. We were what? So the 7-5 part of us is rearing its ugly head.
Yeah.
Last couple of weeks. We won the Super Bowl, but we haven't looked like the Super Bowl team that we were. We had 2 seasons last year. That 7-5 weird part of the season before the bye where we were like this, and we're back to that for some reason. And listen, if I didn't live in Nashville and I didn't have to watch the Titans every week and see how they're coached, I would complain about injuries. But I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm going to complain about the coaching right now. There's no excuse to lose this game.
Yeah.
There's literally there's no – and I didn't watch the press conference yet because, I called I got on the show right away. So I really want to see what the excuse was for losing this. Are you fucking serious? A 10-minute drive, dude, to the Washington, to the no-name team?
To seal it when you needed the ball. Like you needed the ball.
If it wasn't for the Levante David fumble, they probably go down there and score again. I have never seen a defense give up the most response TDs. We score a touchdown, and it's like we have to give the other team points. We go down there and cut it to a 3-point game. There was no reason for our defense to let them go right down the field. And they went down the field. There wasn't even any penalties on that drive. They went right down the field and went back up 10 points. I'm like, okay, guys. This is coaching. This inconsistent. I mean, it shows with the penalties and the jumping off sides when they're trying to hold the ball to the 2-minute warning. That's coach. Something's being missed, and I don't know what it is. Luckily, every team in our division lost except the Panthers. I honestly don't believe the Panthers are going to lose today.
You don't believe in return of the Cam?
Nah, they have a really good the Panthers have a good defense. They have a good defense. And
by the way, it's now 14-0 Panthers.
Who the hell are they playing?
They're playing
Arizona.
The Cardinals.
Oh, okay.
Arizona with no Kyler Murray, no DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, exactly. Arizona should have lost last week, but
Yeah,
that
this is
happens. It's
Colt
the
McCoy under
NFL.
quarterback.
So, so I was under the impression after this bye week we would be so much closer to health, and I'm seeing that's not the
Yeah.
case, and it kind of really annoys me knowing we probably should have made a move to kind of bolster our say it didn't have to be a superstar, but you can't tell me one of those corners in Miami, not even Xavier or Byron Jones, because they make too much, but they had a second year corner, Noah, who they drafted in the first round. He was on the blocks. I just think I thought we would be healthier. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, our offense is doing this, our offense is doing that, because Gronk was playing Madden with me 18 months ago at home. You know what I mean?
Did you win?
AB, I always win when I play Madden.
Oh, of course. Sorry.
Attaboy.
AB was at home looking for a job up there in the classifieds. So you telling me our team offensive success depends on Gronk and Antonio Brown? I get that's what Tom Brady is comfortable with, but God damn it, man, you got Mike fucking Evans, okay? And people.
Do you think they know that? I don't think they knew that today.
Dude, people
They
want to
certainly
complain
didn't know
about
they had
Mike
Mike Evans
Evans
today.
and I'm like, it's about time. And it's hard to do it because Mike Evans said, "Oh, I went from Jameis to Tom coming. I got a Super Bowl. I'm really grateful." But you know what? Fuck that, man. He gonna have to talk to Tom. There's no reason for Mike Evans against that secondary to get 3 targets.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't care if he gets 3 catches, but he needs double-digit targets. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The way he was rolling against New Orleans, he was killing Marcus Lattimore for the first time in 3 seasons since the Fitz Magic week 1. So it's just like, but to bolster my points, it's coaching. I'm having a problem with us being an inconsistent team right now. We play the Giants. Hey, come on, guys. We know how the Giants play us. And honestly, the reason why the Giants play us so well because James Bradbury is very familiar with Mike Evans, and he plays him probably better than Lattimore does, in all honesty.
Yeah.
And that's why I was on Twitter screaming for James Bradbury. I'm sorry. He can't be happy with all that damn losing. And I'm just like, man, I know we ain't got the money, but we need to figure it out because I'm thinking Carlton Davis or at least SMB was going to be back today. And I'm like, oh, they're more. Well, SMB may be back next week, which would be good. I just schematically, man, I don't understand.
Did you just walk from one house to another house?
No. I just went outside to I got to walk around when I'm talking, man.
Yeah, I noticed. For people listening to this, Corey has now gotten off the couch during his rant and is walking around the house in circles. It's like a caged tiger, just spewing vitriol out.
It's hilarious because Corey has gotten up from his chair, walked out to his driveway. Like I expected him to go check his mail. There's no mail delivery. I'm
sorry for the disorientation.
No. It's great. It's just I watched you walk outside, and then I walked in another door. That's not the door you walked out of, and I'm like, did you just go like next door neighbor's house, or are you going home? Like,
yeah, my neighbors are used to it.
That's funny.
But guys, it's just and the Giants play is tough. It's going to be on prime time. So I said today's game was going to tell me a lot about my team, but I guess I'm going to have to wait until Monday because now I go into this game with more questions than I wanted to have.
Yeah, for sure.
Are we a team that's just top loaded? As far as like we're more talented than the teams that we face, but that's last year, there are teams with just as much talent as us.
Yeah.
And those teams include the Packers. Those teams include the Rams, teams that have already beaten us. And I want to give a nod to the injury, but I can't after watching how the Titans are playing, man. I just cannot bring up injury. This is schemed because the guys on the field are professionals. One play in particular that really annoyed me, it was 2nd and 11 on that last Washington drive. It was 2nd and 11. We send Devin White off a blitz when he almost gets home, and then we give up inside leverage to a slant where Heineke's falling backwards and he just throws the ball to the slant. I'm like, hold on, if we send a blitz like that, why don't we have inside leverage from the corner? Are we not teaching these guys?
Yeah.
It's almost like our secondary doesn't call the same defensive plays as our front seven.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, a lot of times it's like that because exactly, and you could see like if you're on the defense and you know what Devin White's going to do, you can see he's going to be free, which means Heineke's got to ditch the ball, which means why the fuck aren't you like in the receiver's face? Like
Right.
just get in between Heineke and the receiver.
I'm like, is football more complicated? Are they getting two separate calls? Because I play Madden, obviously. I pick a defense.
Never lost.
And never lose.
My secondary does what the play arc tells it to do, and so does the front seven. So I'm confused as to why we send a blitz like that and we give up the slant.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Not only was the corner not in his face, but he also didn't have inside leverage.
Mm-hmm.
Like he could have just ran to the slant. And I see so many other teams make these type of adjustments on us. Last point, I'm gone. I'm out of here. I get out of here because I can rant all day. Maybe I can get y'all phone number and talk about it.
I was gonna say maybe you can do what Richard is saying. You're gonna walk to the liquor store, pick us up some beers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play basketball again, I guess. But
there you go.
Last point, you cannot. So somebody mentioned earlier, they're doing bracket coverage on Evans and Godwin. I'm like, okay, so what? You telling me we can't throw in the middle of the field? Like, this is Tom Brady, man. Schematically, okay, so why the hell don't we do bracket coverage on McLaurin or whoever number one is and just shut down everything they're doing? We got outplayed today, unfortunately. We got outcoached, and that turns into us getting outplayed. I mean, on to next week, guys. We'll do this again. We'll do this again Monday night, I guess.
All right. You heard it from the Mad Pay. Oh, gee, he just dumped us. All right.
He gone.
Bye, Corey. I'm dropping the link in chat again if anyone wants to join in. If we don't get somebody in the next couple of minutes, we'll just go ahead and wrap it up and get on out of here. Because, I think we've kind of talked about it all. If somebody wants to call in and complain some more, feel free. That's why we're here.
The couch is open. I'm up from it for once.
The couch is open. Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as Corey, as he always does, he, made some really great points. He kind of nailed a bunch of stuff. I think the offensive scheme was bad. I do notice, though it's not. I don't think it's quite a problem, but it tends to be a problem on third down. It's sort of where I notice it the most because, of course, it counts the most. But like he said, it's like sometimes it seems like the back end isn't. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to be told to do, but it's not matching up with it's square peg round hole, as far as like what the front half of the defense and the back half of the defense is doing. And look, I'm not sitting here saying Ty Bowles is stupid. He doesn't know this. Like, that's not. Of course, it's not what I'm saying. It's just like I just don't understand it, and it seems like a pretty basic thing, But again, when Mike Smith was here, I used to say, "Oh, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing," and he just kind of coached himself right out of football because he'd play his corners 12 yards off, like 60, 70% of the time, and quarterback would stand up and throw it 7 yards, and if Grimes or Hargraves didn't make the tackle, it went for 14. So, and that was really, that was it. But anyway, yeah. So I think the offensive game plan, and I can get an explanation on this. I'd like to hear an explanation through the week, but the offensive game plan was just terrible. It was just terrible. And Corey's right. Like, it's almost criminal. Mike Evans only got 3 targets.
Yeah,
he should have double-digit targets.
Like I said, where's the milk carton that's got Mike Evans' face on it?
Yeah,
because it should be. Have you seen this receiver?
last scene in the FedEx Field locker room, getting ready for Sunday's game.
Getting ready for Sunday's game. By the way, before we get out of here, we do have to mention our great partner at BetUS.com. You won both ends of your 2-game teaser.
I did.
That you did with the Colts and the Titans.
Right.
And then you took the Rams -3.5. I won my first game because I took the Patriots.
Yeah. Patriots are going to the Super Bowl, baby. Tweeted it like 2 weeks ago.
45-7. Unfortunately, I'm going to lose my teaser because the first game, I took the Steelers -3, and they just tied the Lions.
As in that's official. That's
As in-
overtime. They
as in-
tied.
As in, yes, they were going down. But how about this?
What's the score?
16-16.
Nice. What a barn burner.
It would a barn burner between Jared Goff, who, by the way,
Oh, that's right. Ben's out.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph, 30 of 50, 242 yards, a touchdown to pick. Jared Goff had just 92 yards passing.
Wow.
In a game that went 70 minutes.
Can you believe Sean McVay coached that guy to a Super Bowl and almost won it?
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, so I took the Steelers -3. That was before Big Ben was diagnosed with COVID,
Right.
and was ruled out. So yeah, but the Steelers had an opportunity with under 30 seconds. They were probably in the range of about a 55-yard field goal, and they fumbled the ball.
Kind of like what the Raiders did to me last week.
Yeah, Freiermuth fumbled the ball, recovered by the Lions, and the ball game is over. And then I had the Vikings +9. I think they were going to win that one.
Can a game really ever be over if it ends in a tie? Like, can you say the ball game is over? Like, he fumbles the ball, Lions fall on it, and the ball game is tied.
And the ball game is tied. So it looks like Ren's on course to go 3-0 this week on the Pewtercast picks. I'm on pace as normal to go 1-2. And so you can hopefully do like Ren and not like me, thanks to BetUS.com.
Yes.
And BetUS for 27 years has been paying off its wins. You can ask Ren about that. And you can also get a little bit of extra scratch in your account thanks to the Pewtercast. If you go to BetUS.com, use the promo code PewterC, that's the letter C, and the number 125.
125.
And that is a 125% sign-up bonus. So you sign up using the promo code. You deposit $100, you get $225 total in your account to play with, thanks to BetUS.com. You bet, you win, you get paid with BetUS.com. It is the best way to support this show.
Yeah, man. So it doesn't look like anyone's going to want to come in.
I'll blame them.
Yep. And a couple, people have done blasting me in chat for being so nonchalant about, 2 weeks ago, the last game's loss, which I deserve. Of course, I'm going to deflect all that anger and vitriol and put it right onto Byron Leftwich.
That's right, as you should.
It's not my fault. It's Byron's fault. But hopefully we get some sort of, I don't know, clarification in Monday's presser with BA. Give everyone sort of a chance to decompress and really know what's going on. And I hope we get some tough questions Monday for the Monday presser.
Maybe they'll say, hey, we thought we played at 425.
Yeah.
This is a 425 game? I thought we played at 425. I said on Twitter that this team better be damn glad that they're in the NFL and not in college, because if that's a game that gets played on a Saturday, the coach is taking them back and they're having to practice that night, because you can do that in college.
Yeah.
Oh, you obviously
don't even take your pads off.
Get on the plane with your pads on, because when we get off, we're going to the facility and you're going to practice.
Yeah.
It was awful. Just an awful performance today by
coming off a bye.
2 weeks to prepare for Washington.
Yeah, it was bad.
2 weeks.
All right, well, that's all I got, really, man.
All right, give us a benediction then. Let's
blame Byron. Like, that's it. That's all I got. Best place to find me is on Twitter. At the Pewtercast. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers football, but if you think your tweet's too hot and don't want to put it out there in the Twitter sphere, feel free to DM me and I will talk Buccaneers football there with you too.
Yep, and I am at Steve Carney on Twitter and Instagram. Coming up this week, we will have someone from the Giants to talk Giants with us.
Maybe
here.
Eli Manning.
Maybe Eli Manning.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a couple other guys
Gifford.
that I know. Frank. Well, I don't think Frank is with us anymore. Maybe I'll get Lawrence Taylor. That'd be nice.
No, I don't want to talk to that freak.
You don't want him to tell you not to smoke crack. Don't smoke crack.
I met him once.
Did you really?
Yeah,
This
he
is
was.
a story that we're gonna have to play here this week.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, good idea. Yeah.
So we'll hear Ren's story about meeting Lawrence Taylor coming up later this week, and of course on Friday we'll talk with Barry Barger from BetUS.com,
Mhm.
and then no show on Sunday. Instead, it will be Monday night when we will be back with you live to talk about the Bucs and the Giants. So thank you to our sponsor, BetUS.com. Thank you to the Fansided Network for hosting the show. And until next time, go buck yourself.